All right, let's delve into stories of incredible fortitude, where the essence of the human spirit is tested against the most severe adversities. Imagine, for a moment, the most intense scenarios conceivable, where survival hangs by a thread, and each second is a victory. This story isn't just compelling, it's inspiring as we explore the top 5 surviving stories in history. These are not mere tales. They are profound validations of the will to live, showcasing the extraordinary resilience and determination demonstrated by exceptional individuals who faced events most of us hope never to encounter. We begin with Aaron Ralston, a name synonymous with courage and incredible endurance. Many of you may know his story, but let's revisit it in depth and imbue it with the gravity it deserves. His ordeal started during a solitary descent in Blue John Canyon, Utah, in 2003. Aaron was an experienced mountaineer, yet nothing could have prepared him for what awaited him in the unforgiving canyons. His arm became trapped by an 800-pound boulder, and for 6 excruciating days and nights, he remained pinned in a remote slot canyon, his life hanging precariously in the balance. The situation might seem bleak, yet it's within these darkest moments that the true caliber of human strength comes to light. Ralston endured beyond the threshold of human pain, rationing his meager resources, maintaining his spirits, and recording what he believed might be his final thoughts on his camcorder. And then, the unthinkable, the decision that none but few could fathom. He made the harrowing choice to amputate his own arm with a blunt utility tool in order to free himself. The agony of such a decision, the ferocity to follow through, is beyond comprehension for many of us. Yet it was this very extreme determination that saw Ralston triumph over his dire circumstances. Ralston's incredible tale doesn't end there. After the amputation, he still had to navigate through the maze of canyons, rappel down a 65-foot sheer wall, and hike several miles before he finally encountered a family who assisted him, leading to his ultimate rescue. His story garnered global media attention, stimulated discussions on survival, the human psyche, and fortitude, and drew us all into a reflection on the value of life and the lengths we might go to preserve it. As we pause and reflect on Aaron Ralston's experience, think about this. What would you have done? How far would you go to save your own life? It's this contemplation that takes us beyond mere survival stories into the realms of human psychology, willpower, and ethics. And before we move on to the next incredible tale of survival, consider subscribing to this channel if you're captivated by these profound stories of human endurance. Your engagement helps us to keep bringing these stories of resilience and triumph to light. Continuing on our journey through harrowing survival, our next exemplar of human resilience is Julian Ker, whose story is as improbable as it is harrowing. On Christmas Eve 1971, Ker, only 17 at the time, boarded Lanza Flight 508 with her mother in Peru. The plane encountered a severe thunderstorm and disintegrated in mid-air, resulting in one of the worst aviation disasters in history. However, Julian's story was just beginning. Strapped into her seat, she plummeted 2 miles to the forest floor below. Miraculously, she survived the fall, a beacon of improbability, defying the very laws of physics and human survivability. What followed for Ker was an 11-day odyssey of fortitude and courage. Injured and alone in the Peruvian rainforest, a place where many might succumb to despair, Julian showed resourcefulness and resilience that are scarcely to be found. Despite a broken collarbone, a gashed arm, and no survival training, She relied on instincts and knowledge her parents, an ornithologist and a biologist, had instilled in her. Following a small stream, she navigated through the jungle, aware it was her best chance of finding civilization or a rescue team. Battling insects, dangerous animals, and the relentless pressures of isolation, her ordeal culminated in a near-miraculous rescue by local loggers. Each step in those 11 days was a physical and psychological trial, highlighting not just the savage beauty of the rainforest, but also the incredible strength of the human will when faced with overwhelming odds. Julian's story is not just one of survival, but of a mental battle waged against the elements, against solitude, and against the creeping menace of hopelessness. Her triumph serves as an enduring testimony that even in the bleakest of situations, the will to live can guide us toward extraordinary outcomes. From Julian's incredible story, we turn back the pages of history to the early 19th century, to the legendary tale of Hugh Glass. His ordeal begins with a brutal grizzly bear attack in 1823. An experienced frontiersman and fur trapper, Glass was part of a company ascending the Missouri River. The attack left him severely wounded and incapacitated. What happened next is the stuff of legend and serves as a testimony to the grit and determination of the human spirit. His companions, enduring their own hardships and believing him to be on death's doorstep, ultimately left him behind. However, Glass's tale did not end there. Alone and in immense pain, with wounds that would surely spell the end for most, he set his resolve to survive and began an incredible journey of over 200 miles to the nearest American settlement. Through this ordeal, Glass became more than a man. He became a symbol of the fierce grip on life that can take hold when all seems lost. His will to survive the grizzly attack, the betrayal, and the harshness of the wild American frontier is a profound reminder of what humans can endure and overcome. And as we immerse ourselves in these stories, I encourage you to engage with us in the comments below. Share your thoughts on what aspects of human psychology make such incredible survival stories possible. What do you think drives individuals like Hugh Glass to push beyond imaginable pain and strife? Your insights add to the richness of our discussion, and your participation makes our community all the stronger. As we embark further into our exploration of incredible survival tales, we now encounter a story imbued not just with endurance, but profound philosophical insight. Viktor Frankl, an Austrian neurologist, psychiatrist, and Holocaust survivor, confronted one of the darkest epochs in human history. As a prisoner within the totalitarian brutality of Nazi concentration camps, Frankl endured suffering that transcends what most can imagine. However, even as his very humanity was under siege, he sought to understand and articulate the psychological and spiritual aspects of human survival. While facing the systemic dehumanization and unfathomable horrors of the camps, Frankl observed that amidst the suffering, individuals could still find meaning and even a sense of purpose. His seminal work, Man's Search for Meaning, emerges not just as a memoir, but as a work of psychological analysis. In it, Frankl proposed that even when confronted with the severest of circumstances, it is possible, and perhaps imperative, to discover a reason to live. Frankl's philosophy, known as logotherapy, suggests that this fundamental search for meaning is the central motivational force in human beings. The implications of Frankl's experiences and subsequent theories are profound. They imply that survival is not a purely physical struggle, but that the psychological and emotional landscapes we navigate play a crucial role in our capacity to persist and endure. The very essence of what it means to be human, to search for meaning, to aspire towards a future, to maintain hope, can be sustaining forces in the face of adversity. His story forces us to confront the existential aspects of survival and the multifaceted nature of human resilience. Continuing our quest through survival stories, we next contemplate the harrowing experience of Elizabeth Smart. At just 14 years old, Smart endured a 9-month nightmare after being abducted from her Salt Lake City home in 2002. Her captivity was rife with physical and psychological abuse, a testament to the darkest potentials of human behavior. Yet, Smart emerged not as a victim, but as a vocal and enduring advocate for abduction and sexual assault survivors. The story of Elizabeth Smart reflects not just her remarkable recovery, but also her unwavering commitment to transform personal tragedy into societal change. Her work as an activist speaks to a different kind of survival, the long-term journey of healing, advocating, and empowering oneself and others beyond the trauma. The depth of Smart's psychological fortitude to not only survive the ordeal, but to use her voice to help others adds a significant chapter to the story architecture of human survival stories. She embodies the idea that survival is not only about living through a crisis, but also about how one rebuilds and repurposes their life in the aftermath. By reflecting on these 5 accounts of survival against extreme circumstances, we encounter a diverse mosaic of resilience that each story uniquely exemplifies. Let me remind you that your engagement with these stories doesn't have to end here. Participate in the comments below. Subscribe for more content that delves into human perseverance. And share this video to inspire reflection on the strength that exists within us all. Each click, each comment, each share helps to continue the conversation about the remarkable capacity of human beings to overcome adversity, and maybe to prepare us all a little better for any challenges we may face in our own lives.